and welcome back to Scarlet Rage Vintage. This is of course Karolina Zebrowska.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
very good.
That's how I'm going to say your surname. How do you say your surname?
Zebrowska.
Okay, yeah, good. Glad that you did that. And
close enough though.
Zebrowska.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, okay, cool. If you don't watch her videos, they are funny as anything and really cleverly done. And she's actually written one book and has one maybe in the sort of pipeline. We can't guarantee, we can't say anything for sure, but there's a hint for you. So I wanted to get down and dirty and sort of ask you some questions. You say that your sister got you into vintage, but what made you want to write a book about it?
I wasn't really feeling that confident about writing about myself.
Okay.
Like I had this idea somewhere, like maybe someday, maybe in like 10 years I would write something. But the publishing company contacted me and,
ding 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 ding.
And I was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was a lot of research, it was a lot of work because I still feel like I specialize more in 19th century than 20th century, especially the later decades.
Yeah.
They're really like, they were like a whole new field, like, you know, 70s, 80s, especially in Poland, because I was focusing on Poland. But now I feel like writing more, actually. It was a lot of fun.
She's got the writing bug now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you feel like, so normal people don't realise how long it takes or how short of a time it takes to pull a book together. So could you tell me like how long it took for you from the first meeting to the final draft to it being printed took?
So the first meeting was around March, I think.
Okay.
And
March last year?
Yeah.
Whoa.
At the end of June I had to hand back like the finished draft. Well, like a finished thing actually.
Okay. But in between then you've sent like pre-drafts and that kind of stuff?
I've sent like a teaser, I think, but they've pretty much left me just, you know, on my own. They didn't interfere or whatever. You know, I had to come up with a list of chapters. I had to come up with like what sort of content is going to be there in terms of like, you know, those tiny things that appear. Like I didn't have a whole page of text. I also had like boxes of information or anything like that. So I basically told them what I'm gonna think this book is.
So you basically had no guidance. Like
I had some guidance if I wanted to, but it wasn't like pushed on me. Like it wasn't like I came out with ideas and they were like, no, you're not gonna do that.
Wow.
So that was really nice because I could actually, you know, be creative with it. Then I came out with the idea of like the photo shoot where I'm wearing 2 different styles for each decade.
Okay.
So that was also something I came up with. They were like, cool, yeah, we're gonna do it. Just make 20 outfits in 5 months and we're done.
And you're literally like this. Great, 20 outfits, 5 months. Fabulous.
No, actually at first I was like, sure, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna, you know, sew all the things on my own. And then I counted the outfits. I like wrote down what I'm gonna need and I was like, yeah, I might need to buy some stuff.
You mix a lot of humor in your videos.
I feel like sometimes I mess up in my videos and I'd rather just say it and tell people that I messed something up than have them point it to me in the comments, you know.
I love the fact that you're literally like this. I could have done my hair but I couldn't be bothered this morning.
Yeah.
This is how it is.
Yeah, or like I'm putting a piece of clothing on and it has a hole in it, so I just rather announce that it has a hole in this particular place, you know, than have people be like, she has a hole in this shirt, you know.
We actually spoke about it earlier, that literally I was telling her that I did a whole YouTube video and I had like lipstick full on my teeth because obviously you only have you, yourself and I filming. There's not a whole team or crew behind you.
So no one's gonna tell you if you...
So literally when I'm editing I'm like, I've got lipstick all over my teeth. And you're like literally the same. We were just literally having moments
But what's happening in my case is I always edit on the worst possible resolution because then it's gonna edit faster. Like it's not gonna get lagged or something. Yeah. So then I only see the finished video once it's rendered and that's when I notice, you know, everything that are wrong.
I'm the exact same. I'm literally like this. Shit, was that there the whole time?
But that took like 3 hours worth of rendering, so I'm like, well, guess I'm just gonna have to roll with it. You know?
I literally sit there and go, should I go and refilm it? I'm like, no. Can I say that you're popular on YouTube? Because bitch, you are popping. Like, doom, do, do, do.
Well, I'm popular enough to earn money from it, but But I'm always like looking up to the people that are above me when it comes to like the amount of subscribers or views, or like I like getting jealous of people for what they've done, because it kind of
kicks you up the arse.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm just too lazy to film and I'm like, oh, whatever, I'm just not gonna post anything this weekend, and I see some people doing really well and I'm like, okay, yeah, I should do it too, you know. It's not kind of like jealous as if I don't want them to do well.
But it's
kind of like, okay, I should concentrate and work on it more.
I like videos that are vintage in vintage aspects, but you do it with such a humor that I'm just like, I like her because she doesn't think too much of herself, and she's not taking it like super seriously like a lot of girls.
Yeah, maybe
I find.
that's what people like, because when
you're human. Like, I feel like you're a human.
Yeah, because when they think like vintage style, they also think, you know, focusing on the elegance and like just focusing on that really vintage like aesthetic and lifestyle, whereas like it's modern times, I'm not gonna fake it anyway.
No,
you know, like everyone knows.
What were you like in school? Were you like really academic?
No,
you weren't.
I was not.
I am shocked. I'm shook.
I had my one bestie, and we would just hang out all the time, and we would get really creative. So, for example, we would shoot films together, we would have plays together, we would dance together, sing together, we would just come up with all those crazy stuff. We were writing books all the time. So basically, I didn't really care much about studying, but because I was kind of smart enough to fake it, I didn't get that much, like that.
I could never fake it. I was just never going to be able to fake it at school.
So I had like, let's say like, mediocre grades, but I knew if I studied really hard or like just was more into it in general, I could have done much better.
Do you have any modern day style icons that inspire you?
Apart from Dita, who like everyone is looking up to.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think so. I mean, there are some elements of people's like style that I would gladly adapt to my own, but like the whole thing, I don't think so.
So there's no one that like truly inspires you, except for Dita, which
well, red carpet wise, I really enjoy seeing what Lady Gaga comes up with, because like she's been through a really like crazy phase, and that's when I didn't really get her. Yeah. But now she's into this like vintage with a really cool twist and quirk.
She adapts, I feel Gaga has from her stylist Nicola Formichetti to now Tom Ebert, the adaptation of stylists, and she's got her own mind as well, which is fantastic. She has a vision, and she just implements it through the stylists, like they do the hard work for her.
I just feel like it's a really good representation of how vintage trends and like silhouettes can be adapted into modern lifestyle 100%. And red carpet, you know.
Would you ever consider moving from Poland? If yes, where would you move?
Long term, it would be difficult. Like when I was living here, there was a lot of things I missed, and there was a lot of things that pissed me off here. So I was like, And like even now, when I stayed in Brighton yesterday, there were already like 4 things about the flat I don't like that are like typically British. But other than that, I find like British landscapes and British architecture absolutely gorgeous. And like whenever I have this kind of like hurtful feeling in my heart that I want to live somewhere, it's usually in the UK.
Are you very family orientated? I know your sister's very close with you. You guys are very close, so are you very
pretty much. So that also brings up like the distance problem, and you know.
So I have one last question for you, because you did a whole video on it. Do you really hate vintage dealers? Because let's put it this way, she did a whole video based on how vintage dealers didn't know how to size garments, know how to write descriptions, and there was a variety of other things.
Unfortunately, some sellers are not particularly good at getting the measurements right.
And I remember watching the video. While watching it, I was sending her DMs, literally saying, we are not all idiots. Please don't tarnish us with the same brush. We are all very different. And at this point, she'd never bought anything off me. And I literally was just like, I can promise you, I know how to measure, I know my information, and I'm not a dick.
Maybe there are like vintage dealers and then people who sell vintage clothes. Because like anyone can sell vintage clothes nowadays. If I had a piece of vintage that I didn't need, I could just put it up without any detail whatsoever and sell it. So maybe it's just the case of people who are truly passionate and actually care about what they're doing. And people who are just trying to make money off the clothes. Because sometimes it seems to me like maybe people are focused on different eras, like the dress I was mentioning in that video that was actually like all falling apart and it wasn't mentioned in the description at all. It was the oldest dress the person has ever sold. So maybe if they're focused on other eras, they just don't know.
If it's not they're not a specialist.
Maybe it's out of their range. Maybe it's something they don't know is important. You know, knowing that the dress will not just crack when you fold it. You know,
there's simple tests that you can do to figure out if the fabric is strong enough to withstand or wear. Maybe
you can list it as a collection item.
Yeah, you know. Someone might want it just to stare at it because they like the rivets or something like that.
Yeah, but you have to mention.
Yeah, of course you have to mention that. I mean,
so maybe the problem is that too many people sell vintage these days, and there are more and more people trying to sell vintage, and not all of them know how to work with it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with old fabrics. They don't know that they need to clean it beforehand. Because I had a 1920s dress that basically smelled like a soup, and I was like, why does it smell like a soup?
I think if you go to someone like me, or you know, there's other vintage dealers out there that have also very good at what they do, you may be paying a little bit more, but you're also getting the experience.
Getting more.
Yeah, you're getting more, because literally, like, I will tell you the front price, the back price, what fabric it is, if it's cleaned, if it hasn't been cleaned, mending, that kind of stuff. I will generally tell everyone.
When I was paying for it, I was like, crap, it's a bit pricey, but okay, I'm gonna wear it a lot. And then you sent me the tracking number, you did everything, and like within an hour or so, then it arrived, it was perfect, and I was like, okay, that's what I'm paying for, you know?
Yeah, I literally give you the peace of mind, and also the fact that you were buying a 1940s ski suit that had the gloves, the ski mask, and everything, and it was kind of reversible as well, and it was still in great condition, and those things are freaking rare to find.
And maybe it's worth paying more to get the service that you require, not cry about the soupy smell of the dress later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that you're here. I am actually literally going to take you to the studio now, because I think the baggy bum builders have left, so you can go in there and live your best life. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go follow her. If you don't, I will come find you and haunt you.
She will.
Thanks.